I called the acting unit commander at Port Shepstone, Lieutenant Colonel Prinsloo, and indicated that I wish to come through with Warrant Officer Setshedi of the FSL, who would take 7 to 10 bricks to the FSL for weighing. He indicated that he was going on a wildlife workshop from the 8th to the 12th of November 2021. I told him I would come through when he returned. I received no feedback from Pretoria FSL and was aware that Warrant Officer Sando of my office was also making inquiries to the FSL with regards to the exhibits seized at CHC Depot on the 5th of February 2020. On 8 November 2021, I was called by Brigadier Newswa, who informed me of the theft of drugs incident at Port Shepstone. I was unaware of any of the security issues at the building prior to this. I proceeded with Captain Majola to the scene. General Senona and Brigadier Newswa arrived a short while later. LCRC was in attendance, and Captain Majola and I canvassed the area for CCTV footage. I must add that I bore no knowledge, neither am I involved in the theft of drugs. I was questioned and polygraphed with regards to this incident. I passed the polygraph test, but I understand now it doesn't carry much weight, Commissioners, but in response to the allegation
I'm sorry, it may be of interest to you to know that there were all sorts of problems with the polygraph test.
I've been following.
And some people who supposedly failed the test, in fact, didn't, basically because a lot of things went wrong. Yes. So what would your comment be if I say passing the test may not necessarily be proof that you actually passed it? What would your comment be?
I'm aware, Chair, that this is not admissible in court, but generally it's an...
That's not my question.
Okay, yes,
my question is about you stating the fact that you passed the test. So I want you to comment.
Okay.
Regard being held to the fact that yesterday we got to know that a lot went wrong with the polygraph test.
Okay. Be that as it may, when I did pass, I felt vindicated. I felt a good sense of relief,
Yes,
so
yes.
I took
no,
that.
how we can't take that away from you. That is how you felt when you got the result. We can't take that. But what we make of that is something else altogether.
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Please proceed.
Paragraph 50. In response to the allegation that Warrant Officer Perumal did not object to storing the exhibits seized on 22nd June 2021, I wish to add that I have submitted further statements to General Flynn's team over the years. I had expressly stated that we had an issue with storage at Isipingo SAP, more especially Warrant Officer Perumal. A statement was obtained by General Flynn's team from Warrant Officer Perumal in respect of availability of storage space and exhibit bags, in brackets I've got, on 22nd June 2021. I'm speaking of that incident. A statement was obtained by General Flynn's team from Warrant Officer Perumal in respect of availability of storage space and exhibit bags subsequent to the theft of drugs on 8 November 2021. At no stage was he canvassed regarding the previous problems I had cited with the Isipingo SAP. One would have expected this issue to have been canvassed with him. The previous seizure at the CHC depot on 5th February 2020 involved approximately, I've got it wrong, it's 547, but I put 570, my apologies, right? Involved approximately 570 kilograms of Mandrax tablets and powder. I cite the inquiry number. According to evidence tendered, Isipingo has never had a problem with storing exhibits before. So I allude to...
Do you consider that, I hope it won't sound like I'm probing at this stage.
Clarification, I'll take it.
Do you consider that to be a useful comparator if you are talking about Mandrax as opposed to cocaine?
I know where you're headed, Chair, and I understand that, yes, in terms of...
at this stage, I will not go to where I'm headed.
But I do appreciate it, but I'm referring to storage space at this stage, storage space for a physical bulk of exhibits, not the hazardous nature.
Thank
of
you.
each.
We'll
Yes.
deal with where I'm going
Yes,
later.
yes, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Chair. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, was I at paragraph 52?
Yes, you were, and
Okay.
you had just, about third line, you had just stated Isipingo had never had a problem
Okay,
with storing
Isipingo had
exhibits.
never had a problem with storing exhibits. See attached affidavit of the IO of Durban Central CAS, I cite the CAS, annexure GYJ1, and it's my colleague, Warrant Officer Sanders' affidavit. And I state, this may have been the reason for my confusion regarding my interaction with Warrant Officer Perumal on the 22nd of June, 2021.
And based on the Chair's reminder, I'm quite mindful that I don't start interrogation, I needed clarification, however. You state, according to the evidence tendered, Isipingo has never had a problem with storing exhibits. That's your main point there, right?
That's correct.
At the conclusion of that paragraph, you state, this may have been the reason for my confusion regarding my interaction. Is there
Yes.
something missing there? I don't understand
Okay.
the interrelation between the two
Yes, all
points.
right. I see where the confusion comes from, Commissioners. On the 22nd of June 2021,
Yes.
when I was later interviewed, or even when I made my statement, all I knew in my mind, and bear with me, I know it may sound, as though I'm maybe lying, that's why I'm confused, but this is it. On the 22nd of June 2020 was that he was not accepting those exhibits, neither did he have exhibit bags. And I see in my statements, numerous statements that I had furnished the investigation team, General Flynn's team. I'm not quite clear on that, and then I say that, I didn't explicitly ask him, but I know they've had a problem. Then I go on a further statement elaborating on even while we were processing or counting these drugs and busy in the parking area at Isipingo, Warrant Officer Perumal even remarked of, hey, the last time what happened with our guys here, we got sick. So all of that was in my mind, and I knew for a fact that Isipingo would not keep these exhibits, whether it was explicitly told to me or whether I had drawn that inference from my previous experience with the station, I can't say, but what I can say for certain is that my colleagues on the scene have since sternly reprimanded me by saying, Colonel, Warrant Officer Perumal did not want to keep those exhibits. So why I wrote that I did not explicitly ask him for permission to store it, I'm unsure why. But this may be the reason, and that's my truth. Okay.
Please, Chair.
Sitting here, I'm confused as to what you did say or did not say. As you sit there now,
Yes.
did you or did you not engage Officer Perumal on the availability of storage?
Yes.
Did you or did you not?
Yes. I can't recall offhand that I did ask him. And like I'm saying, that's my only answer, is that I knew they were not storing it. My colleagues reminded me that I was wrong. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And then, just in fairness to you, what do you say was the confusion? What do you say is the confusion? Because you say the reason for my confusion, so just
Yes.
for you to be clear on that?
Yes, I'm saying that I think I mixed up our previous incident in February 2020, on the 5th, between the 5th and 6th of February 2020, and that whole debacle there. Because although my colleague, Warrant Officer Sander, I don't think he mentioned it in his evidence, I am the one that secured Durban Central SAP with regards to storing those exhibits that Isipingo had turned away. So, that could be a reason for my confusion. I can't elaborate further, but that's it.
Okay. We might get back to this because I don't quite understand. If you say Isipingo has never had a problem with storing exhibits.
No, I'm not saying that, Commissioner.
That's what you say according to the evidence tendered. Do you
According
accept
to
that?
the evidence tendered by General Flynn, my apologies, Commissioner.
So you do not agree with the evidence
I do not.
tendered?
I strongly disagree.
Now I understand what you mean. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
There's a difference, though, between the availability of storage space and an unwillingness to store. There's a difference between the two. On your understanding, even though you are not sure whether you specifically asked Officer Perumal anything, but on your understanding, because you do say that you had some understanding, so on your understanding, what was the position?
Okay.
Was it an unwillingness to store, or was it a question of the unavailability of storage space?
Okay. Chair, this is my opinion. They have a storage place that could have accommodated it,
Okay.
over half a ton. But if I can just elaborate a little more, if you allow me, Chair.
Yes.
Even if you look at Warrant Officer Sanders' affidavit that I attached as an annexure, he states that Warrant Officer Perumal had made a comment that they do not have members to guard these drugs, you know. So to me, it's not only a problem of storage space, it's also logistical in terms of manpower and the risk associated with those drugs. Thank you, Chair.
So you're basically saying the storage space was available?
I would have thought so. I'm not sure at that point in time what the exhibit safe looked like, but I would think in a normal course of duty, they would have had that space.
Thank you, thank you.
And if I then, just to close off this point in response to the chair's question, you reference what Warrant Officer Sanders said
Yes,
about concerns, is it Warrant Officer Perumal had, which
Yes.
is that not having manpower to guard.
yes,
That was in 2020.
yes, correct.
What was the issue in regard to this particular seizure by Warrant Officer Perumal? What did he express to you? We are now into June 2021. You say
You know, yes.
you understand there was space.
Yes.
So from your recollection, what was the reason for the rejection?
I can't give you a specific reason, Commissioner. I
So it's not the fact that he doesn't have manpower to guard it?
No, he didn't cite it on this
Okay,
occasion.
thank
Yes.
you. Then I think that will take us to paragraph 50.
Please
Yes.
do that. And it's not a factor, the lack of manpower, it's not a factor that you would have taken into account?
No, I did not at that stage,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Balu. You may proceed.
Okay, paragraph 54. Okay, 53, am I at 53?
Yes, we are now at 53.
Okay, thank you, Chair. These exhibits had to be stored, and I'm speaking about the Isipingo 2020 February Mandrax exhibits. These exhibits had to be stored at Durban Central, SAP, from the 6th of February 2020 until the 12th of November 2021, when they were taken to the FSL Pretoria for destruction. If there was indeed no problems with storing exhibits at Isipingo SAP, then the IO would have taken them back to Isipingo upon being turned away from the FSL in Manzimtoti on the 6th of February 2020. See copy of Isipingo SAP 13 as per Annexure GYJ2. So that's there. To further substantiate my claims, I attach a copy of Isipingo SAP Occurrence Book 386 to 387, and I won't read the rest out. As per Annexure GYJ3, see headings, consultation and injury on duty, respectively. Entry 387 is made by the very same Warrant Officer Perumal, and it pertains to a member getting sick due to the drugs stored there. Surely this speaks to the credibility of Warrant Officer Perumal.
And before you move off this, am I reading your statement correctly that the drugs you reference at 53 are the Mandrax tablets, the 547 kilogram of Mandrax tablets?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
The evidence led states that I should have inquired with Durban Central SAP, and when I say the evidence led, I mean by General Flynn. The evidence led states that I should have inquired with Durban Central SAP and Brighton Beach SAP, Maiden Wharf, and some other station to store the 22nd June 2021 exhibits. At that stage, Durban Central still had the exhibits booked out of Isipingo SAP on the 6th February 2020. C, copy of itinerary to travel from Durban to Pretoria for disposal of said exhibits as per GYJ 4.
Before you move to the next paragraph, just to understand your 54, you say Durban Central still had the exhibits booked out of Isipingo in February 2020.
That's correct, Commissioner.
What does that mean? Does it mean, therefore, Durban Central did not have capacity? Is that your conclusion?
That is my conclusion.
And you know that for a fact?
They were.
No, I'm talking about capacity. I just want to be clear
No,
what you're
I
talking.
wasn't sure of their total capacity.
Okay,
I
thank
can't
you.
comment.
You
Yes.
may proceed.
Brighton Beach SAP still has exhibits from a September 2020 drug seizure in the Umhlali area. They allowed us to store exhibits via Durban Central Organized Crime. I won't mention the entire numbers. Being a smaller station, Umhlali SAP stored some of the exhibits in this matter. We tried all other stations to assist and were ultimately assisted by a rural station, Glendale SAP, where we stored less valuable exhibits. Brighton Beach SAP was the only other station to assist storing some of these exhibits after we had exhausted police stations closer to the Umhlali area. Brighton Beach SAP is 70 kilometers away from Umhlali SAP. To date, these exhibits are stored at Brighton Beach SAP in an unused cell. There is a prospect of an arrest, hence these exhibits have not been destroyed. See attached annexure, GYJ 5, photos of exhibits at Brighton Beach SAP. I recall that Sechedi was the same analyst that had acquired samples of this precursor chemical stored at Brighton Beach. He had conducted this exercise with an IO from my office.
And before you move on, similarly with Brighton Beach,
Yes.
are you suggesting at paragraphs 55 and 56 that the conclusion you drew at the time is, therefore, Brighton Beach SAP does not have capacity?
That's my conclusion. I drew,
At the time?
Commissioners. Yes.
Okay. If I may just ask a follow-up, do you know what their capacity was at the time?
No, I don't, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
These above-mentioned police stations would continuously call inquiring about removing these exhibits. I did not exhaust every police station in the vicinity, as I knew how difficult it is to get assistance in this regard. I certainly knew that I could not request Brighton Beach SAP or Durban Central SAP for further assistance. I knew the difficulty in securing a police station to store exhibits, especially in light of the challenges at the FSL. It was suggested that taking samples is unheard of. I did call the head of chemistry, Colonel Kuzwayo, and inquire in this regard. I have since spoken to Lieutenant Colonel Songa and Warrant Officer Sechedi of the FSL. It became apparent that the investigation team had obtained statements in respect of my interactions with them. Warrant Officer Sechedi admitted to being intimidated by those members that acquired his statement. He indicated that he was first accused of stealing the drugs before the interview began. In no uncertain terms, he made it known that his statement was made under duress. I inquired from him regarding our discussion on the 27th October 2021, when he agreed to assist with the obtaining of 7 to 10 bricks of cocaine for weighing purposes. He was reluctant to even confirm this conversation with me. During this meeting, he fetched his statement that he had furnished to General Flynn's team in order to refresh his memory. When reading it out, I noticed that he had stated that on 27th October 2021, that I had told him that people were planning to break into Port Shepstone office to steal the drugs, when in fact I had told him that Brigadier Newswa had informed me that there was an attempted break-in at the Port Shepstone office. The intimidation of witnesses shows clear biasness from the investigation team investigating the theft of drugs. I believe that in the absence of any evidence pertaining to the actual theft of drugs, a false narrative of what transpired was created. The investigation seems to have been directed towards this false narrative. The exhibit seized at the CHC depot in February 2020 lay in storage at Durban Central SAP for over a year without the IO being accused of never intending to submit it to the FSL.
Before you move to paragraph 61, you may probably have omitted certain issues. At paragraph 58, you see at page 11, you state that it was suggested that taking samples is unheard of,
Yes,
the taking of samples.
yes.
I did call the head of chemistry, Colonel Kuzwayo, and inquire in this regard.
Yes,
Thereafter, you then, at paragraphs 59 and 60, you speak about the events of the 27th of October 2021 regarding the 7 to 10 bricks that were required,
yes,
but you no longer address yourself to the issue of samples. Did
Yes.
you discuss the matter of samples with Colonel Kuzwayo? You said you inquired from her in this regard?
yes.
And if so, maybe this is an opportunity to state what advice you were given at the time by
Okay.
Colonel Kuzwayo.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. It would have been, from my recollection, on the morning, most probably, of the 23rd of June, whilst I was still on leave, right?